Hello and welcome to Plugin of the Day. In today's video we're going to be looking at a plugin called OTT by Extra Records. This plugin is a special type of compressor. It's a multi-band upwards and downwards compression. You tend to find this used quite a lot as possibly a parallel compression, maybe used in mastering, maybe used on a bus for a section of tracks, things like that. Whereas other compressors like FET compressors, tube compressors, optical compressors, VCA compressors and multiband compressors will differ in what they offer. And we're going to compare the OTT to a plugin by Waves called the MV2, which does something very similar. So let's go and check it out. I'm in Reaper. The song we're going to be listening today in this demonstration of the OTT plugin is called Lose a Lover. I'm primarily going to be concentrating on the OTT plugin, which is this one in grey here, but I'm going to compare it also to another very similar plugin by Waves called the MV2, which is a great plugin itself. Great thing about Extra Records OTT though is that it's free. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play through the song without any of these two plugins being instantiated, and then we will start with the MV2 and move on to the OTT and see what the differences are. Before moving on to that, I just want to point out that this is a very basic, simple plugin, the MV2, and there is no doubt quite a lot going on in the background. Whereas with OTT, as you can see, there's a lot more in the way of knobs and sliders that can alter the sound. So you have more flexibility and it's more down to your skill using the OTT as compared to the MV2, which does a lot of the work behind the scenes for you. So let's have a listen to the song. Okay, so we could hear there great dynamics in this mix, plenty of room to maneuver when pushing levels as mastering engineers would do. Now, this isn't mastering by any means. It might be a tool that you might want to use either in mastering. You could use it on bus of a particular section of instruments like guitars or drums or vocals. Use it, like I said before, as a kind of parallel compression type of action. So there are different ways of using this type of plugin. I'm going to start off with the Waves MV2 and we'll just push it to different levels and see how it sounds on playback. and then we'll move on to the OTT, see what we can do with that. So let's move on to that. If you're enjoying watching this video, please consider smashing that like button and subscribing to my channel so that I can keep on bringing this free content. We could definitely hear a difference in level when using the MV2. Basically put 0.3 on the output just to make sure there's no clipping at all. Bringing this slider down here, making sure that I get the level I want, and that is the downward compression, and then the upward compression is this one here. And again, I can do likewise as I did in the demonstration. What's going on there is that basically the sound is being slightly squashed. You could definitely hear a bump in volume. The transients came out, very much so. It gave it a kind of rounded, smooth sound overall. So that's the MV2, but the plugin we're concentrating on most today is the OTT by Extra Records. So we're going to play around with this now while the song's playing, see what we can come up with. As I mentioned before, far more flexibility within this plugin, and a little goes a very long way. You have to be very careful when you're using this plugin not to overdo things, because things can get out of control very quickly. But that's where using it and experience comes in. So let's try it out. Right, so we could see what the OTT up and down multiband compressor could do. Very similar to the MV2. The MV2 does a lot of processing behind the scenes, whereas you have more control over, and also in this section here in the middle with these knobs you can drastically affect the EQ. So if you so desired, you can actually change the EQ settings as well as the compression settings within the OTT plugin. So that's what I meant by it being very flexible, but also how it can very easily get out of control if you're not sure what you're doing. I'd advise anyone to go and download this. It's free. It's a great plugin. It does pretty much what the MV2 does, and the MV2 is a great plugin as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Sabs out.